Hi everyone, Quiveen here from the comfort of my kitchen. In today's video, we will be looking ahead to a couple of the meteor showers that are coming up in November, as well as quickly revisiting the greatest elongation of Mercury. So here we are at sunset. We're very close to the greatest elongation of Mercury here, but I don't think we're exactly there yet. We get rid of the atmosphere and the ground. There is Mercury, the Sun, and Venus. So we can see as we move back closer to the beginning of November, I'll keep the sun in one place to make things easier. So coming back into October and the beginning of October, there is Mercury just next to the sun. We can see that it's coming out to the side as we get up to the middle, late November, and it reaches its maximum. We can see it appearing to sort of freeze there and turn around here around the 17th and 18th, and then Mercury will continue its orbit and end up moving in front of the sun. So Mercury looks invisible there, which means it's not reflecting any light in our direction, so it must be in front of the sun, going back into October and back into the month before. There we can see Mercury really bright and lit up, so it must be behind the reflecting light in our direction. That is the 2nd of October, so that's when the annular lunar eclipse happened down in South America, or the annular lunar eclipse happened, which was visible from down in South America. So we can see here, coming up on sort of the 16th, 17th, Mercury's at its furthest from the sun there. If we were in a location with a perfectly flat horizon, if we're on a big salt flat or in the middle of the ocean, of course, the ocean isn't necessarily flat all of the time. Massive waves can occur far out in the ocean, but on a still day, here we go, it can be completely flat if you are surrounded by water. So here is our completely flat horizon, the absolute zero horizon, and yeah, the sky does not get dark enough from here in Ireland for Mercury to really be visible. Taking a closer look in here, yeah, it's there above the horizon, and yeah, magnitude of 0.21, but reduced to 3.28 by the atmosphere. So because Mercury is so close to the horizon here, its light has to pass through a lot of atmosphere, and that will cause it to blend in with this orange-yellow of the sun. So we won't get to see that from here in Ireland, but you will get to see it if you are at another location somewhere else around the world. Coming up to the 17th, 18th as well is the peak of the Leonid meteor shower. There are the Taurids. We will have the Taurids coming up this month as well. You can see they're kind of clustered around the anti-helion point there. If we take a look, the southern Taurids there peaking on the 5th of November, so quite soon. They could get up to you can see there 5 to 10. So if we move back a little bit, yeah, that's not changing. So we're looking at a maximum of maybe 10 meteors coming from that at the beginning of the month. The northern Taurids then maximum of around 5. So we're not really getting a lot of meteors from them. The Taurids are coming up early in the month. They're just not a fantastic meteor shower. The Alpha Monoceroids, wow, it apparently can get up to 400, but I don't know if the Alpha Monoceroids are necessarily that good. And also in Canis Minor, rather than being in Monoceros, the boundaries got shifted around a little bit before they were fully officially defined. Here we go, peaking on the 17th of November. If I remember from my last video, going out the morning of the 17th began will give you your highest potential rate, 4 to 17 according to this simulation, out of 5 to 20. So this meteor shower can be amazingly good years. It's probably not going to be amazingly good this year, but with that coming up at the end of November and these ones happening here closer to the start of November, the Monocerotids peaking right at the end of November as well. Let's see what Stellarium says we'll get as our maximum for that. So it's saying 4 to 325, which seems like it's going to be an incredibly good shower, but with this bright light of the full moon interfering, on different years, the moon will be in a different location around the Earth on a given date, but the Earth will still pass through the stream of dust left behind by a given comet on the same date every year because it is our position around the sun. The Alpha Monocerotids here aren't giving a parent object, but the Leonids, I believe, do. Yep, Comet 50P Tempel-Tuttle. So that comet takes a particular orbit around the sun. And when the Earth passes through the trail of dust left behind by that orbit, that's when we get the meteor shower. I believe it's the same for the Taurids. You can see 2P Encke there. The southern Taurids, their little marker has gone away because we've moved too late in the month, but there it is, also created by Comet 2P Encke. So presumably the northern Taurids and the southern Taurids are really the same meteor shower with a slightly different radiant, which is interesting. Could have been multiple passes of Comet Encke as well. So even though those meteor showers aren't expected to be incredibly good, we do at least have a few of them going on. There's the Orionids and the Andromedids as well, running into November but peaking in October. Some of these things can be difficult to predict, and very often if people say that there's 7 or 8 meteor showers all going on at the same time and you should go to see them, if they're all minor meteor showers, then they're not going to be as impressive as is often implied. And speaking of things not turning out to be as impressive as was implied, we're back here on the 28th of October, which should be the perihelion date for Comet C 2024 S1 Atlas, already be gone from the stellarium. Comet C20 Atlas, yep, I think it's going to be there when we take a closer look at the. There we go, looking incredibly bright, and it would have been if it didn't fall apart. So if this comet hadn't fallen apart, it would have looked incredibly bright, especially from the southern hemisphere, just as it was moving away from the sun there on October 28th. Unfortunately, that comet, it evaporated. The sun, its gravity, the heat of the sun, the melting of the ices and other volatile molecules and compounds that were in this comet, they broke it apart. And so that comet isn't going to be as impressive as was expected because it's gone. It's broken up. We're not going to get to see it at all. And the same can be true, for example, for meteor showers and also for the northern lights. So the northern lights have been visible from lower latitudes than normal lately, and that's a great thing. We are seeing more and more of the northern lights from more southerly latitudes. But for example, if there's a major storm on the night of the full moon, the light of the moon is going to be able to block out some of the northern lights. Of course, when the northern lights are particularly bright and particularly impressive, then they will be visible along with the light of the full moon. The northern lights can be that bright, but they can also be a little bit fainter. The northern lights aren't always going to be amazingly clear. This is the default background. The green polygon of the zero horizon was a little bit unsettling to me. But this is the kind of sky that we can expect on the nights that the Leonids are peaking. And that full moon is going to be with us all night, just interfering that little bit. And because the Leonids are in the constellation of Leo, even if we move back a night or two away from the peak, we'll only have a good level of darkness for a brief period of time. Here we are at 6 in the morning. The moon has pretty much just set here on the 14th, and the glow of the sun already starting to come into the sky. So this year may not be the best year for meteors, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't go looking for them. Even if you don't get to see all of the meteors, there is plenty in the night sky to enjoy over this period. And there should be some meteors in the sky, even though a few of these are not peaking on the same dates or past their peak, or even limited to pretty low numbers, like the November Orionids here. They are all going on and they will all contribute some amount of meteors to the sky. And as I feel has almost been a running theme over the past couple of videos, we don't always know what's going to happen. Some things are difficult to predict. We can be surprised sometimes, whether it's a bad surprise, like a nova not occurring when we thought it would, or a good surprise, like an exceptional Taurids or Andromedids in a year where we didn't expect them. So even though the meteors may not be as crazy as they're getting made out to be, there should still be some meteors in the sky. And even if you don't see any meteors, with Mars, Jupiter, the Moon, Saturn, Venus at sunset, Uranus out here, and Neptune over by Saturn, there is still at least plenty to see. I do hope you get to see some meteors over the course of November, and fingers crossed we'll get to see some more aurorae as well. But until then, it is still worth going and looking at the sky. If you don't look at the sky, you definitely won't see any meteors, whether they are there or not. I hope that you enjoyed this video, this quick little run through of those showers and some of the upcoming things. If you did enjoy it, please do like it. You can also subscribe to this YouTube channel if you'd like to support more videos like this, and you can read some of this information on my website, queevinscontent.ie. Hopefully, I'll see you back here next time.